welcome to Kardec Radio. This is our daily prayer program. It is a beautiful day and a pleasure to be here today, connected with one another in prayer so that we can elevate ourselves, that we can connect with one another in this very dear time that we are facing here on planet Earth right now. So, as we see some friends coming in here, we want to remind you that this rather short moments are very important. It's very important that we have moments like this in our house. When we pray, we elevated ourselves, a heartfelt prayer, we connect with the higher spirits, and then they come in, they visit our homes, our workplaces. Whenever we are, they come, they connect with us, and they can truly help us through these moments, providing the treatments that we need, the treatments for those who are connected to us, rescuing entities that needed that support. So it's really, really important that we join these moments and we make sure that we are bringing these moments even more and more. You might be asking yourself, friends, what can you do right now as we see our planet going through so many difficult times, transformations? A lot of people are discarnating at this moment. And one thing that you can do, and you are here joining this program, is really to pray. We need to be even more prayerful at our homes so that we can elevate, raise our thoughts, our feelings, because it's so easy nowadays to connect it to the news, connected to different things, talking to family members, and really be feeling in that low vibration. So, in order for us to help our whole planet, it's very important that we read beautiful books, um, think about beautiful things, focus really on the good. And then from there, we are already helping a lot. So we don't need to be there in the front line treating patients. We can be from our homes, really elevating the vibration and helping Jesus and his messengers really elevate the vibrations of our planet. So, with that, we invite you right now for a short initial prayer before we can start from our reading for today. So, if you can at this point, we ask you to close your eyes and stop what you're doing for a few moments so that we can really feel this connection with one another. Shall we? Dear loving God, we feel truly blessed for this reincarnation, to be here at this very moment in our planet Earth. We know that are many who are at this very moment, Father, suffering, feeling desperate, anxious, without hope. But you gave us the opportunity to get to know of the teachings of Spiritism, who bring so much consolation and hope to our hearts. And as we go through this transformation times on earth, we ask that we can use these moments to rethink our priorities, rethink our daily choices, Focus on the eternal gains and not the passing, material, ephemeral things. You, Father, knows us as no one else, and you truly know at this very moment what we need. So open our hearts, our minds, that at this very moment we can receive the treatment that we need, our family members, and all those connected with us in both realms of life. We also pray for those who are with the greatest needs at this very moment in hospitals, prisons, refugee camps, without a home on the streets, those who are feeling desperate and who don't feel safe in their own houses. We also pray for those who are discarnating or who have recently discarnated, that they can be received by your loving messengers, embraced by their loving light, and that they can receive the treatment that they need in these moments of transition. Feeling you even closer to us, we ask your permission to start these prayerful moments of today, and so be it. So, dear friends, today we have another beautiful message from the book The Way, the Truth, and the Life, psychographed by Chico Xavier by the Spirit Emmanuel. This is a beautiful book. If you have in your homes, you can follow us. Today we're reading a message. It's titled Beloved Friends. It's number 59. And in this book, there are short messages, but we know that they have a very, very deep and powerful meaning. And Emmanuel is so masterful that in such short sentences, he can tell us so, so much. So we will read together, and then we will bring some highlights for us to bring closer to our hearts before we finalize with our final prayer. So, beloved friends, that's the title of the message. Paul said to the Hebrews, but we expect better things from you, beloved friends. And Emmanuel explains to us the apparent prosperity of the godless is to be regarded with great sadness. Believers are amazed that people who know nothing about moral scriptures are high up in the financial realm. Many ask, where is the Lord that he has not seen some questionable affairs? The question, however, shows more ignorance than common sense. In the end, what happens to the wealth that godless persons have piled up? Even if they lived in fine health for hundreds of years, they would still have to abandon their riches to restart their learning process. Eternity gives little importance to material assets. Those who only focus on accumulating temporary capital while neglecting their inner realm of the soul are worthy of pity. Nearly always, they leave everything to the whims of their irresponsible heirs. However, that is not the case with owners of spiritual wealth. They make up the beloved friends of God, and they feel at one with the Father, whether they may be, even in the face of difficulties and troubles. They guard the joy of the divine inheritance laid up in their souls. With regard to the godless, we can expect indifference, ambition, greed, and a preoccupation with thoughtless accumulation. With regard to the unknowing, we can expect to get absurd questions. Nevertheless, the apostle to the Gentiles rightly states, "But we expect better things from you, beloved friends." So, friends, what a beautiful message, right? As I said, Emmanuel says so much to us in such a short message, but we can study this message for hours and hours, right? And I wanted to start by highlighting the title of the message because Emmanuel titled it Beloved Friends. And I think by just reading the title, it makes us feel so much closer, right, with one another and so much closer to the governor of the earth, right, our Master Jesus, because we are all beloved friends, right? So, as he start talking in this message about those who he called godless. So, what is Emmanuel telling us? Who are they, right? And he describes to us they are those who know nothing about the moral teachings, right? And what they do, they accumulate, they think what they should do is to accumulate these material things, right? So someone might say, oh, but I believe in God, right? But their daily actions don't reflect that, right? He's focusing here on financial gain, material gains, but I think we can also expand this as we talk about fame, right? Those who look for social status, right? They want to be known, they want to be recognized, right? They're looking for that recognition or that status, power, right? They don't settle until they get to be the CEO of a company, right? To really have many employees under them, right? Or even inside their families, right? They want to feel like they are in charge. They can say the last word, right? So let's expand this as Emmanuel is focusing on those who are not focusing anything that we don't focus in the eternal gains, right? And to bring this closer to us, I think we also need to think not only those out there, but inside of us, right? Because all of us, inside of us, we have those traits, right? We're still spirits evolving. We still have so much to learn. So there's still that pride inside of us, that feeling sometimes of being recognized, of gaining that promotion at work or that raise in our jobs, right? There's so many things that anything that we focus in our daily lives that is not anything that's gonna take us to eternity, right? Our moral, really our moral internal values. So what happens? What Emmanuel describes to us? People ask, right? Oh, but so and so, how can it be, right? They've done this, that, and the other, and look where they are. They are still, uh, they are still being promoted at work, or they are still having this or that position, right? We don't want to talk about politics, but we see nowadays many people talking. How can that person be president, right? Look at what they're doing, look at their actions, right? And this is says, these are the questions people will ask, right? But he says, well, actually, those who ask those questions are the ones that we should, why feel pity? Knowing what we all know about spiritism, right? Should we change the questions? Because as we have seen throughout André Luiz, Emmanuel's, Kardec's, right? All of the spiritist literature, we see that what happens, right? People might discarnate, has, if you have read the book 2000 years ago, Publius Lentus, he was the governor, right, of the Roman Empire. He was known to have, be that person, to have that position, right? So when he discarnated, right, what people thought, wow, what will happen to him? And we will see throughout the books by Emmanuel how much he had to come back and then have to, right, readdress his choices on that and previous, but especially on that reincarnation, right? So it's not, you know, we always think about it as a straight line, right? It's not. It's an equation that it's much more complex. But God is there, and He's watching all of our actions, all of our choices. And what happened to his wife, Livia, in that book? We see Livia, had nothing. She was his wife. Throughout her journey, she was accused of betrayal, of betraying her husband. She was accused of not staying with the values at the time. She became Christian. She started to follow Christian teachings. But she stayed there, quiet, she devoted in her faith. And when she discarnated, and I don't want to spoil the end of the book if you haven't read the book, but we see that when she discarnated, she rises straight up to meet with Jesus himself. Can you imagine? It's so beautiful. And if you ask who was Livia, right? If people know, we have this knowledge because Emmanuel brings to us, but if you ask people, they don't know who Livia was. But Jesus knew, and he was there reaching out to her. And she rise so much that she has actually never reincarnated again here on earth because, she really, in that reincarnation, really focused. I think Livia is an example for us of someone who came and really had the courage, the faith to go through focusing on what is really, really important. So, the message tonight, I think Emmanuel and the mentors are reminding us that maybe we should use this time as our planet's going through this transformation to really rethink our choices, our daily activities, right? Our thoughts, and what are we really focusing on each and every day? What is your central desire in this life? Because he has told us through this message that, you know, yes, we will be faced with indifference because those who are focused on other things, yes, there will be ambition, that will be greedy, right? But if we focus, as Jesus told us, in the narrow but straight path, at the end, right, we will really feel that joy. If we have the joy inside of us here, as Emmanuel says, we will feel so much connected with God, with as one with God, that we can go through the troubles in life. It will be hard, but we'll feel, right. He says here, guard the joy of the divine inheritance, because that's what should be focusing on that divine inheritance inside each and every one of us. Because we will discarnate maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe years from now. Why? We don't know. Only God knows. But we would discarnate and let's think what we would take with us, right? We're not going to take anything material, right? But we will really take the moral values inside of us. And we have seen throughout André Luiz's books, and André Luiz himself, he shared with us, right? He discarnated and he focused in his life in the material things. And he described to us what he had to go through in the dark, in the lower zones, because of that connection, right, with matter and the habits that he had, right, which were not healthy, that grounded him. And it took him a long, long journey to really be able to be rescued and receive the treatment that he needed. So let's think about this. If we had to discarnate today, what are the things that we have to address? What are the choices that we can make, that we can have a transition that is lighter, that is easier, right? And we will not stay suffering on places where we could be in receiving, right? There's always help whenever we are, but we can really be ascending. So, this is the message of today, and I hope this can don't make us feel guilty or heavy, but brings us a reminder, right? A reminder that this is a precious reincarnation. We have the opportunity to be here, so why not now? This is probably the first reincarnation where we are truly awake to make better choices. So we can start making better choices today. So, with that, friends, I will invite you for our final prayer. So, you're invited to join us. We'll do a visualization so that we can picture ourselves receiving this treatment, and then we will have a prayer to really thank God for this opportunity. So, we ask you to join us whenever you are. Now is an opportunity to really raise our thoughts up to God. So let's close our eyes and let's take a deep, deep breath in, slowly releasing. Let's take another breath in, slowly releasing all the worries, the thoughts, the feelings that don't belong to you. And as we continue breathing in and out, we see a shower of healing light falling upon us. Picture this light, the vibrant colors, touching your head and moving throughout your whole body. Let's let this light envelop each and every one of us. We now see this light expanding, enveloping our whole house, rescuing entities who needed help, enveloping family members. And we now see that we are by the door of our houses, opening it to Jesus and his messengers. As they enter your home, they greet you with a kind smile. And they use these moments of true healing for those in both realms of life. We now see this light expanding out of our homes to our neighborhood, to our cities, reaching hospitals, shelters, fellow neighbors, and citizens, until it encompasses your whole country in this beautiful healing light. And as this light expands, it forms bridges of peace, understanding with other countries around the globe. As we now see our whole planet Earth enveloped in a beautiful healing light, who breaks the bacteria, the virus of the atmosphere of the planet Earth, and substitute it with forgiveness, with humility, peace, health, tranquility, and hope. Dear Master Jesus, thank you for being the governor of our planet Earth. Thank you for coming to show us the narrow but straight path. Thank you for bringing us hope and showing that there is no need for material or physical gains, but instead we should focus on the divine light inside of us, the divine inheritance that we will take throughout eternity, knowing that we are eternal spirits, and this life is passing. that tonight we can open our hearts to focus on what is important for our eternal spirit. Help us in this journey as your beloved friends. And with much gratitude in our hearts, we ask your permission to close this prayerful moments of today. And so be it. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us. I see here beautiful, beautiful friends. Thank you for being here with us. We hope that you stay connected in this vibration, right? It feels so good. And we invite you to join us here at Kardec Radio tomorrow at 6 p.m. for daily prayers. Also, Kardec Radio has programs 24/7. You can watch it on Facebook. You can connect through the Kardec Radio app. So, anytime, friends, that you're feeling down, make sure to just turn on your phone and connect. I'm sure there will be a beautiful program there that can help you go through these moments in your life. We are here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team. A big, big hug, and we will see you next time. Have a great and beautiful evening. Bye bye.